Hi, I'm LDS in Medium, and thank you so much for tuning in today. I want to try to bring religion and spirituality closer together, and this is what this pod is all about. I will talk about my own thoughts and feelings as I am both LDS and have spiritual gifts, something that I've had my whole life, but I always thought that it was hard to combine these gifts with my religion. This has torn me into two directions, and I have talked to many people who feel the same way. I can't choose not to have my spiritual gifts, but I can choose how I use them. And I always want to use them for good and to help others. I believe my heavenly parents gave them to me for a reason. So, this is me. Join my quest for knowledge. Tony Robbins, Day 5, Episode 4. Massive action is the cure.
When was the last time that you took massive action? Think about it. What did you do that time? And what kind of actions did you take? And what forced you to take that massive action? Or why did you decide to take that massive action? If you get something for free, you might not value it as much as if you actually needed to fight for it. Some people need to fight for something to value it, and I especially see that in my children. When they get something for free, they don't value it as much. And that's why we're always trying to get them to put goals. What do they need to do? What do they need to achieve to receive what they want? And something that Tony Robbins said during this time also is that what people say or do does not affect our lives. And you might think, what? What people say or do does not affect your life. What matters is actually your reactions to what they say and do. And so your reaction affects your life. And if you think about it that way, if you're being bullied by somebody, and it's not the fact that you're being bullied, but it's how you react to it. If you don't react, then you take away the power of the person being the bully. And it doesn't have to go any further than that. Of course, that depends on what kind of bullying it is. If it's just words, of course, it's easier to not react. And if it's more like physical and violence, you want to get help from somebody in your surrounding. But this is also something that I'm telling my daughter, who is 8, a lot. And she says, this person said this to me. And I said, well, is it true? And she goes, no. I said, then why are you talking about it? Why does it matter? If it's not true, then you just should let it be. You know that it's not true, and so you shouldn't have to react to it. Sometimes also, Tony Robbins said, people forget their dreams. And I think it's really easy to forget your dreams. When we were children, when we were young, we had all kinds of dreams. And what's even cooler is that most things seemed possible. Fantasy, dreams, hopes, the future, everything was possible. And so something that you have to do is that you have to find a way back to your dream if you forgot about it. And when you find your dream, then Tony Robbins said that there's no replacement for action. So when you take a decision about something, never leave it without the action. Because you leave your momentum and you lose your state. So if you're taking a decision about something, like taking a trip, well, get a calendar or write it down on the schedule. Schedule it. Something I learned from another place was that when you get something to do, you should either do it right away or schedule it. If you don't, it's easy that you forget about it or you procrastinate, like I do a lot. And so now I write lists. I have a calendar. I have several calendars actually. And I just try to write things down. I have a family calendar in the kitchen. I have a personal calendar where I write down more things that I need to do and the pod. And you know what? The calendar really saves my life with all the doctor's appointments that comes with having an autistic son. And just being like the one that organizes most things that happens in the family, like everybody's dentist appointments and everything else. I mean, I need to keep track of when school starts, when it ends, when they don't go to school because they have a break, and yeah, you know, like most people do. So that's when the calendar comes really handy. You can use it for all aspects of your life. And then Tony Robbins went back to saying that momentum is everything. So when you're doing something, you need to get the momentum up and you need to keep going. That's something that I felt a lot in the beginning of this pod. We were talking a lot about how we're going to do it, and then finally said, let's just do it. And I can totally honestly say that now, when I know what to do and kind of in what order I need to do things, I could never have imagined the process without actually doing it. And if we would have waited for me to get the process right, in which everything needs to be posted and everything needs to be created and edited, then we would probably never have started. I'm just saying, momentum is everything. Just start, take massive action, and keep going. I have a few examples of that. One was a strong feeling that I had in the beginning that we needed to make a lot more episodes than we were actually posting. Because we were talking about posting 1 per month, and then we got to just 1 per month. That's kind of little, and we could do bonus episodes in between, so suddenly we had 4 per month. And sometimes we have affirmation or meditation, and it was just like piling up. And I was repeating a lot that we need to have more episodes, and I was pushing for that. We need to have more episodes. But you know what? When you had COVID, I think you were also really happy that we had those extra episodes, because I never ran out of work. We could release the pod as normal. And so that was the momentum. We built up the momentum to later on, when you needed the break, then we could afford to take that break without interrupting what we were doing. So we had momentum. And another example was that we both discovered our love for writing music at the same time. And we were just writing a lot. And we complement each other, because I like to write a lot the chorus and you like to write the verses. And I write mostly in English and you write mostly in Swedish, and we really complement each other there too. But speaking of momentum is when there was a deadline coming up, and deadlines are really good to gain momentum. And I always studied best when I had a deadline, and I like deadlines. But we wrote 6 songs in 3 weeks, and that's a lot of music. We lived music for 3 weeks, but we got it done. But we were also in a momentum, and we were in a flow. It was really neat, but also kind of exhausting. You need to plan to take some time off and just recuperate after that. But it was cool. Momentum and massive action.
Yeah, those were good days. We had so much fun writing those songs. And I think a lot of times momentum and flow comes when you do what you're supposed to do. What you know deep inside that this is what I am supposed to do. With the pod, starting it was really hard. I mean, in Sweden we have this thing called jantelagen. It's kind of a law that says, who do you think you are? You're no better than anyone else. It's a law that pushes us down and don't try to be someone you're not. Like, don't try to be good. And it's something that we have in us as Swedes, and we've grown up. Don't think that you are someone special, because you're not. It's a really hard law to break away from if you have had it in your culture for such a long time. Don't think you're special. And I am special, and I have so much I want to give and I want to shine. And it's hard to have a law in the society that wants to hold you back and don't think that you're anything special or particular in this world. And then you have this inside of you that says, well, I am. And so for me, well, I have something to say. And maybe one person will listen. And then maybe 2 persons will listen. And now we're so close to getting 3,000 downloads. It's amazing. And I remember telling my sister that if just one person listens, that will be enough. And then we got some downloads, but it was so quiet. And I was like, oh, we've had this pod now for a month and no one is reaching out. And I was starting to feel discouraged. And I mean, it's only been a month, but my expectations was really high because I'm doing what the Heavenly Father wants me to do. And so why aren't people reaching out and saying, hey, you're awesome? And then the day after my birthday, I got this mail saying that, thank you so much. I've been listening to your pod. And it was like the day after my birthday. And I was like, no one is reaching out. And then I got the email and my sister called and said, you know what? We got an email. I was like, yay. That for me was confirmation. I was doing what he wants me to do. And so when I was starting to doubt, he sent this little nugget of keep going, keep going. But then again, I get so excited like, hey, I want to get to the finish line. But the thing is, honestly, I'm not doing this pod to reach tons of people. I'm doing this pod to reach the people that need it. The ones that are out there like me, the ones that have spiritual gifts, that have psychic abilities, and that are members of a church, not just our church, but any church, and they don't feel you can combine these things, like these different aspects of your life. Those are the ones I want to reach. Those are the ones I want to soothe and say, you know what? You're not alone. I've been there. I'm still there. I'm still fighting every day, but let's fight together. Let's walk together. Let's do this together. If I can just help someone that is in pain and worries to have less pain and less worry, that would be enough. So I don't need tons of downloads. I need the right downloads. I need to find the right people, the soul family that I have. And I would like us to come together to build a community, to help and encourage each other on our path to come back to Heavenly Father, because that's where I want to go, and I guess that's where you want to go, and it's hard to do alone. And I have so many questions in my head, and I try to look around for answers. And if you got questions in your head, maybe you have answers that I seek, and I have answers that you seek. So for me, that's what it's about, to do this together.
Yeah, and I totally believe in what we say when we say one person can make a difference, but together we can
change the world.
Yeah. For us to change the world, we need massive action. So something that Tony Robbins also was talking about, I'm not really sure it goes into this part, but it was controlling your emotional reaction. And you need to choose the right language, because the language that you use affects your nervous system. So every type of word usually have degrees. So he had the example of you can be annoyed, angry, frustrated, really, really frustrated, or mad as heck. I can say that, right? You should think about to use the right kind of word. Well, am I really, really frustrated? Am I mad? Or am I annoyed or angry? It really can change the situation. It can change how you feel. I mean, my pulse might not be elevated and I might not get red in my face and unable to think about anything else when I'm annoyed. Annoyed is just like a little mosquito or fly. I'm just like, whiff it away. But if I'm really, really, really mad, I might say things that I don't actually mean when I think about it. And so use the language that is appropriate to describe. Because if you're always walking around being mad at every single situation, first, it's really tiring. But second, you kind of lose the nuances in life. You'll see everything just through one filter. And you will start looking at everything and only seeing things that make you mad. And I don't think that's really what we're supposed to do in life. Also, if you want to find things to be mad about, you're going to find it when you look around. I mean, if you want to be mad at your spouse, everything that they do will start to annoy you. But you can also choose to look at the bright side, and you can look at all the things that you love about your spouse and start seeing those and compliment those, and then maybe see how the relationship grows. If you really get upset about somebody else, that other side actually wins, because you lost your calm and you lost your center. So use the right words in your life and choose your language wisely. Focus on what you want to see. If you want to see the positive, or do you want to see the negative? I'm a positive person, and I've decided to focus on the positive. I don't do it all the time, but most of the time I try to see the positive in a situation. So, did you think about a time where you took massive action? Did you take massive action towards something that you love? Did you take massive action towards something that maybe later became your profession? Are you doing what you really want to do in life?
Yes, yes, and yes. Yeah, I did take, not massive action, but I did take action doing this pod, starting it. I did take action in changing my job. I did take action in trying to get my footing after the carpet was pulled from under it. So yes, I'm taking action, not massive action, because that's not the type of personality that I have. For me, massive action is like going out and demonstrating. That's not me. But I totally embrace slow and steady wins the race. I'm a Capricorn. I'm the mountain goat. I take one step at a time, and that will take me to the finish line or the top of the mountain or wherever I want to go. And so I take action, and I'm taking more action every time, and I'm stepping more and more outside my comfort zone, because I understand that's the only place that I can grow and evolve at, is when I'm not feeling comfortable and stuck inside my little world, my little bubble. And so I still don't feel comfortable doing it, and I still don't love it, but I see now how much I've grown, so I understand the necessity of doing it. And so I'm doing it. And I choose my battles and where I want to evolve and where I want to be a little bit uncomfortable. Yes, this was Massive Action is the Cure. Be the light, share the light, spread the light, and shine. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow for a new episode. This is my journey. Thank you so much for keeping me company today. Please download, like, share, and subscribe, and help spread the light and spread the word to expand our community. Let's bring more love, peace, and unity to this world. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Always be grateful, kind, and loving. Be brave and remember to step out of your comfort zone and smile. If you support us on Patreon, you will get access to our meditations and extra materials so you can download them as MP3. Also, we now have a Facebook group, which you can access from our Facebook community. Please answer the questions as you apply to participate. It will be a safe haven where we can keep discussing religion and spirituality, our spiritual gifts, and self-development. Remember, one person can make a difference, but together we can change the world.